Hello, my name is Helen de Torre, and I am giving a presentation today for our Teachership Academy that we have, and I'm part of the Teachership Academy Part 2. And my action research today is about animal dissections. Does animal dissections in the biology lab department actually improve the student learning, or is it necessary at all? Okay, so this has been a big controversy for hundreds of years. Educators, students, animal activists, they all have questioned, should we be using animals as dissections for a learning tool in the undergraduate? They don't seem to question it so much at the medical school or the postdoc areas, but undergraduate and high school, there's a big controversy. So, but the research is an attempt to evaluate the effectiveness with the students and their opinion, actually, more of what students think today. Okay, over 300 surveys were obtained from the science major biology department and enrolled in EPCC in the spring of 2012 and the fall of 2012. So the majority of the students in the biology expressed positive attitudes, which was surprising to me because I would think that the majority would think negative, but they were positive. So animals have frequently been used in biological systems because their anatomy is very similar to ours, and their organs are very similar to ours. But so this has also been used as an evolutionary tool, comparing animals and different structures on the evolutionary level with Charles Darwin. But some people love animals. A lot of people love animals, and they view them as morally valued. They have value. Whereas there's other people who do not value animals, and they think of them as either a tool to be used or some sort of exploitation. So for this reason, the government had to establish regulations to protect a lot of the animals and make sure that they are treated in a humane way to minimize pain or distress. Okay, so current legislation emphasizes the 3 R's. We say the 3 R's. It's replacement, reduction, and refinement. So replacement means instead of using dogs and cats or primates like chimpanzees, use bacteria. Nobody really doesn't have a problem killing bacteria. And plants, reptiles, invertebrates, anything that really doesn't have a higher level of intelligence. And then reduction, why do we need to have one specimen per student? You know, instead of having one per student, we could have one per classroom and reduce the amount of animals that are used. And then refinement, again, going back to the legislature, make sure that the companies that we do acquire our animals from is a reputable company, that they do treat their animals humanely without distress. Okay, so what I did is I prepared a survey for the students who were enrolled in the anatomy and physiology classes, because that's the one where they do a lot of comparative dissection of cats is mainly, or pigs, and then they also use models, and then we also have their diagrams. So it was a good class to compare. I asked the biology faculty to participate who would want to volunteer, and I had a few. Not as many as I would have liked, but I had a few. So I had Miguel Aguilar, Dr. Sandra Perez, Glenda Hill, and Mike Silva all volunteered to offer their classes. And then to analyze the data, then I used the Minitab statistical analysis software. Okay, so the results. We have the results of the student surveys. So you see the student is under the microscope, and so the majority preferred animal dissections, as I said a minute ago. They felt that that was the most effective way of learning. They also indicated that they did provide a benefit, or they did receive a benefit from those dissections. And then the students also were asked which method would they prefer in the class if they were given a choice. And they did choose models and animal dissections as the preferred method for learning anatomy. Okay, so here I have a pie chart here that shows that we have 103 students out of over 300 were actually against dissections. They did not feel that dissections were necessary, and they felt that they were immoral. Whereas over here we have 285 students, which is more than double, felt that they are for dissections and that they do provide a benefit. Okay, and here again, 266 students felt that they did receive a benefit from the dissections. 89 students felt that they did not receive a benefit, and only one didn't answer, didn't really have an opinion. Okay, so these are the preferred methods that were given to the students. We have models, which are anatomically correct, full-scale models. Virtual animations, where we have on the computer the virtual animations, tutorials, videos, and then the actual dissections. So you can see that we have dissections and models way above all the other choices as the preferred method by students. 75% chose models, or 62 chose dissections. Okay, so here we have the analysis of the data, and we have here, this is the test scores with the use of dissections. So they did the dissection and then they took the test. And so here you can see we have a really nicely normal Bell distribution, and we have a p-value of 0.324, which says that these numbers are probably correct, with our 95% confidence intervals as well. However, in our next slide, we have the test scores where the students used anatomical models, and then they took the test. And this one is really skewed all the way over this bell curve into the 90s to 100. We have a p-value of 0.005, which it definitely says that this is not a normal distribution and that these values are probably not correct. Okay, so again, majority of students indicated positive attitude. They wanted to use dissections. They indicated dissections and models as their preferred option, and they also had obtained a benefit. The majority also felt that it was not immoral, which was surprising to me. And then again, the p-value on the second one results in 0.005, which really does not represent the population. Okay, and my belief on this is because when you're taking a test, if you have an anatomical model and you have a diagram on the test, if they're similar, then they're going to do better. Whereas if you have a dissected animal and then you have a diagram on a piece of paper, they're not similar, so I believe that that's why their scores were lower than the ones with the models. And finally, my own personal experience, I've done many dissections with many different classes. I had a dog that he had gotten hit by a car, and it was after hours, so the vet needed help. And so he asked me to help him during the surgery, which I was shocked, but that was okay. And whenever he opened him up, I knew everything. I knew everything that was in there. I was familiar with all the organs. I was familiar with all the anatomy, the terminology and everything, and it just really, really helped a lot. And that's my personal experience with dissections. So I want to thank you for the time and have a good day.